Chris the Nightmare Ariel, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man, so I'm trying to keep you guys updated with all the news that I hear regarding Deontay Wilder and who his next opponent's going to be. Now, Dan Rafael came out with a tweet earlier this morning. Somebody sent me a link to it. And Rafael said that he heard that the possibilities will be Wach, Gerald Washington, Robert Helenius, and Rudenko. Okay. Everybody that he threw out besides Helenius, I can see those fights happening because those guys are in the top 15 of the WBC. So I can see those other fights happening. Helenius, though, isn't in the WBC's top 15, but we know how the WBC will do. You know, a guy won't be rated, and then next thing you know, a few days before the fight, the dude's in the top 15. So, but Robert Helenius, you know, I would, even though he's not rated, I would put him over Wach. Out of those guys, I still think Washington should get the nod. I think Wach is even rated higher than Washington. I don't have the rankings in front of me, but you know, I've seen Wach step up and get his opportunities before, man. You know, so you know, his two losses, he's only been stopped once, and I think when he did get stopped, it was like an injury or something. I can't remember exactly, but it was in the 12th round of the Povetkin fight. Went 12 with him. He went 12 with Vladimir. You know, that's his claim to fame. His best win, in my opinion, probably the Christian Hammer fight. He's beat a lot of journeymen. You know, he can beat those guys, but when he steps up, he's durable. In that Vladimir fight, I remember, I forget which round it was exactly, 5th or 6th round, one of the rounds we hit Vladimir with a good right hand. But rather than that, I mean, he's durable and he could take punishment. You know, I will give him that, and he's a big guy himself. So I think he's like 6'7" or some shit, 6'7", 6'8" or something, you know, 250, 60 pounds, something like that. So big, durable guy, but he'll just be a punching bag in there, man. He'll just be a punching bag. He won't even be able to get off his punches like that. He's just, his last fight, I watched him fight Marcelo Nascimento. I thought Nascimento beat him in that fight. If you guys check my post-fight video, I thought Nascimento beat Wach. You know what I mean? And then, funny, because after that fight, Nascimento ended up fighting Rudenko, another guy that's being considered. I believe he's rated number 15 by the WBC, but Rudenko actually ended up knocking out Nascimento early. I think he knocked him out in like the 2nd or 3rd round. So Rudenko, about him, from what I can remember from him, stylistically, he comes to fight. As far as his style, he will come to fight Deontay Wilder. He was busy last year. I think he fought 4 times. I know he fought Mike Malo and who else did he fight, man? Jason Bergman. That's who he just fought last month. The end of December, like towards the end of December, he fought Jason Bergman, southpaw, who fought Joseph Parker. But anyways, who else did he fight? He fought Bergman. I want to say he fought Konstantin Erich too. I forget, man, but I know Rudenko fought 4 times last year. He won all 4 fights. His 2 losses, he never been knocked out, but his 2 losses were to Hughie Fury, and Hughie Fury did not look good in that fight. Rudenko, you know, made it tough for Fury in that fight, and the Lucas Brown fight he lost, a lot of people thought he won that fight. You know what I mean? So Rudenko will come to fight, you know. Helenius, you know, his best wins, I think his best win is Derek Chisora, although a lot of people thought Chisora should have won. But I thought he won that fight. You know, Chisora was pressing him against the ropes, and I thought he was smothering a lot of his own work in that fight too. But he beat Samuel Peter, old Samuel Peter. He's also beat, did he beat Liakovic? I think he beat Liakovic and Brewster. Helenius did. You know, but Helenius suffered his loss to Duopa. He got knocked out in that fight. And since then, he's came back and he's beat Konstantin Erich. And he also beat, he just beat, what's the dude's name? What's that dude's name, man? Gonzalo Omar Basil. I believe that was the dude's name. So out of those selections that Dan Rafael is putting out there, Wach will be last in you know, for me. You know what I mean? He will be last. But I will put Washington, Helenius and Rudenko is probably the same, and then Wach for me is a distant fourth. You know what I mean? Like a distant fourth. But this is all according to Dan Rafael, man. I'm trying to keep you guys updated in real time with the information that I'm getting from, you know, all the other boxing dudes that are following this right now. But hopefully Wilder and his team, they come out with a opponent, something concrete by today or tomorrow. The fight's, you know, exactly a month away now. So sit back and wait. All this is according to Dan Rafael, Gerald Washington, Wach, Robert Helenius, and Andre Rudenko. I pretty much went over everybody. Washington would be the guy that I would favor. I've already made 2 videos now in the last day. I made 2 yesterday, or 1 yesterday and 1 today. So that's the guy who I would want because it's somebody that said that he will be available on short notice. You know, he's came out and said that if anything happens with this fight, like it just did, WAWRZYK fell in the test, that he will be ready and available. He's undefeated. He seems confident, and just stylistically, he's also a tall heavyweight, just like Wach and Helenius. You know, Gerald's what, 6'6", 250 pounds. He's in excellent shape. He can move on his feet. He is yet, you know, he is still unproven. He hasn't beaten any top flight heavyweights yet himself, but you know, he showed a lot of toughness and could have possibly got the nod in that man's sword fight, but showed excellent legs. And I think just stylistically, this can be an interesting fight, just based on styles between him and Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? Because you can, I mean, we can possibly say that shit, his legs are better than Deontay Wilder's. You know, I would definitely favor Wilder with the power advantage, and I think Wilder has I think his you know, I mean, his back foot game is getting a lot bit better, but Wilder even said himself, man, his days of knocking people out. I heard him say this on the Showtime telecast when they were doing the Joshua versus Molina fight, and he was saying his days of one punch, or not one punch, but first round type of knockout days are over. He wants to think and break down his opponents. Now, if the kill is there, he's going to go for the kill, regardless of what he says. You know, he's a fighter with a high KO percentage, but he wants to set his knockouts up, just like he did with Spilka. Took him to the 9th round to really figure things out to get him out of there. You know, and I think Gerald can possibly pose some of those same problems fighting from a distance, fighting from range. You got to remember, Gerald got long arms himself. Gerald's another guy that likes to, you know, survey the scene, and, you know, he doesn't like to just jump in there and try to fight like Mike Tyson. He's not going to run across the ring, you know what I mean, and start throwing like that. That's not his style, you know. So I just think stylistically, and I've been saying this, y'all. I've been saying this. I came out with a video last summer, and I believe that I made that video in June, where I think the title was like, can Gerald Washington give Deontay Wilder problems, or something? It was something like that, or can he beat Deontay Wilder, or does his style pose problems? And a lot of people said, hell no. You know what I mean? But it's just something about that matchup, man, that just really intrigues me. And I've been thinking about this matchup since last summer. Doesn't mean that I think Washington can beat him. You know what I mean? But it's just something about that matchup. Now, of course, I want to see Wilder versus Joshua, Klitschko, Ortiz, all those guys. But besides those guys, I'm just saying stylistically, this fight right here just has been intriguing to me since last year. You know what I mean? Last summer. So, yeah, I mean, this video's going kind of long now. But those are the names that Dan Rafael came out with. You guys leave me what you think in the comment section. I'm out.